hey, this isn't a terrible kids movie. I guess it's safe to say that The Rock is done serving his punishment for some bet he lost. Everyone's like, he's finally back, the king of action, oh my gosh. Talking about him like he's some action film prodigy. I like The Rock just as much as the next guy, but what epic action movies did he do? Scorpion King and Doom? Walking Tall is a pretty good movie, got The Rundown. I can't even really think of any others right now. Get Smart as side character. I like The Rock. It's good to see him back in a movie that, like I've said, isn't a terrible kids movie. Race to Witch Mountain, The Game Plan, Tooth Fairy. Like, I don't know what's been up with this guy. Putting the negative reviews aside, I was excited to see this movie. Not because it necessarily looked good, but because I was just in the mood for this kind of movie. Just a straightforward R-rated action movie. Did it deliver? I gotta say yes, I like this movie. This movie stars The Rock, but it's almost as if he plays a side character in his own movie. Like, he really doesn't have very much dialogue in this film at all. Every scene of him is basically him driving, finding someone, shooting them, and driving away. You find out more about his story as the film progresses, which I like. I like that style of narrative. As the film starts off, he gets out of prison. The second he gets out of prison, he goes to kill someone. You have to respect a guy like that. And you're just kind of sitting there like, what is this guy doing? Why did he shoot that dude? The film progresses, the story tells you why, and it's interesting, it's fun. As I said, Rock is just kind of like a prop, which is a bad thing, but I like The Rock in this movie. He didn't really have all that much to do. Not really much of a movie for him to show off his acting, but I liked him in it. More of an acting role and a bigger character is Billy Bob Thornton. I thought did really, really good in this movie. I would want to see him in more dramatic roles, like Monsters Ball. He's really great in that movie. A really long time with just being in comedies where he was like a jerk. Bad News Bears, Bad Santa, Mr. Woodcock, School for Scoundrels. Which, yeah, he was funny in those movies, but he's a really good actor. I think people forget that sometimes. I really liked him in this movie. I thought he was really well casted. And overall, I just really liked the acting in this movie. Even just really small actors that were just in one scene, they really made the best out of their time on screen. There are some really emotional moments involving just, you know, some characters that are just in one scene. That happens a number of times. And overall, the movie has good emotional depth. It's all driven, you know, by revenge. But, you know, this Rock isn't a bad guy. You know, there are scenes where he has a chance to kill someone who's even trying to kill him. Yet he says himself that he's not going to kill that person because he has no reason to. He just wants to kill the people that killed his brother. Now, one problem I had with Faster, it was kind of on and off, is that this movie does take itself seriously, yet it's fun. Yeah, it takes itself seriously, and it has some really, I wouldn't say mean-spirited, but there are some dark things that happen in this movie. Some maybe a little depressing things. Yet, it comes off as goofy sometimes. It takes itself seriously, yet it comes off as, you know, goofy, like, oh, this is just a fun movie. Yet they just did something kind of effed up. So the tone is kind of all over the place in some scenes. This happens a few scenes. It's not a consistent problem with the movie. Overall, the film kind of verges on a little lame in a few scenes where it just, you know, it was over stylized. You know, slow motion scenes of like this hitman's girlfriend, you know, opening up a gun cabinet and throwing him guns and stuff like that. Just cliched action crap. Action sequences are excellent in this movie. Most of the action sequences aren't really, you know, big shootouts. It's kind of just like shooting one person, but it's really effective. Well driven by the story, and just overall well shot. A really well directed movie. There's a lot of good driving sequences. Apparently The Rock did them all himself, so cool. If you read any reviews, you probably read that there is an epic plot twist at the end of the movie. Was it good? Yeah, I liked it. It wasn't the most original plot twist ever. Like, if you think about it, it's like, man, I can't believe I didn't guess that. It's kind of obvious in some ways, but it's well done, it's well executed, and it has good detail to it. You know, with a plot twist, you can't just throw it in there. You gotta have, you know, good things building it up that were talked about earlier in the film, which this film has. There's detail, it makes sense. I do think Faster's a really good film for its kind. I really did enjoy it. It's a good hour and 40 minutes. You know, good action driven by an emotional story. It's not a great film, but I did really enjoy it. It was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. I do recommend you see it if you like movies of this kind. I think it's a really good one. Probably one of the better ones out right now. Unstoppable's really popular, but I didn't like Unstoppable all that much. I'd give it a 7. It was good, but not anything great. The next 3 days was good for about the last hour. The rest, I gotta say, was just really unfocused and just a lot of pointless scenes and just pretty boring, to be honest. Really uninvolving first half. So in terms of, you know, action movies and thrillers, I'd say Faster's the best out right now. I do recommend you check out Faster. I'm going to see Tangled later today with my family, Thanksgiving, woohoo. So I might post a review for that, and I'll talk to you guys later.